Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mums and dads, dogs and cats, what is going on? Welcome back to 1-0. Thank you for joining me. I'm Costa. This is 1-0. This is the greatest football channel in Melbourne, Australia, the world, the country, everything, the planet, Saturn, Mars, Uranus, whatever you want. Okay? Big video coming up today. Big video. There was a big result this morning in the Premier League. I'm even standing up for it. So, stand up for the boys in red because Manchester United is on top, like that song that baby can you put my love on top. No, that one. No, don't worry. So today I'm going to go for the big dogs, Liverpool. I'm going to pick out Jurgen Klopp. I'm going to pick out some of the other lads in the team. So I might get a bit of hate, but guess what? It's my life. That's how I'm going to live it. Before we start, it'd mean the world if you could subscribe, like the video, share the video, tell your best mates, tell the kids in your team, whatever. Help the channel grow a bit. We're going to make 2021 nil a year to remember. So that would mean the world if you could do that. Thank you very much for that, boys and girls. Now, I said I was going to go for the big dogs. Jurgen Klopp. Last year, he was it was everyone's second favorite manager, I feel like. And it's weird to say that because, you look at Fergie when he was at Man United, and even though he was so well respected, everyone there was a bit of hate towards him because he's like, so good. He made Man United so good. Every time Fergie knew what to do. And that was kind of the thing with Klopp because it kind of started to feel like, Klopp is obviously a good character. He's funny. He makes the games entertaining. He built that Liverpool team into what they are now. So I think there was also that mutual respect from neutral fans. I'm a Man United fan. I've got all the respect in the world for Klopp. Do I like Liverpool? No. But I've got plenty of respect. The problem with Klopp this year is that I think he got a little bit too big for his boots. And as Stormzy said, you're never too big for your boots. I got the big size toes on my feet. Exactly. And I said at the start in my Premier League prediction, when I said Man United would finish second and everyone laughed, Man United's got to finish first now, baby girl. I said Liverpool, the only problem that I think with them is their depth signings. We saw this morning against Burnley. Obviously, they've had injuries. We understand that injuries are huge and it's pivotal towards their season and where they're at now. If some of those injuries don't happen, could be talking about a different story. But should've, could've, would've, didn't. Shaqiri is playing in the midfield. Divock Origi was starting up front. Diego Jota, obviously, that injury I think is painful towards Liverpool because what I was saying at the start of the season was you need someone to battle and to make the starting 11 a little bit nervous about their spot. You look at Van Dijk and Gomez. They really don't have a backup centre-back except for Matip. Matip gets injured, then what? You look at clubs like City. I know City have spent the budget, but they've got Nathan Ake. Obviously, Stones, Diaz, all already. Eric Garcia, who's off to Barcelona now, but they've got numbers there. United, I know we've got interesting options, but you've got solid 4 centre-backs who can come in and rotate. Fabinho, though, can keep his head up high this season. He's done wonders. Terrific player. He's done very well at centre-back. But the Henderson one is a bit questionable. I think Matip was back today. And I do just think Klopp maybe got a little bit too confident. And he maybe got a little bit, let's not ruin it. Because everyone knows Liverpool was such a system. And there's such a system in the fact that if we add one player into this mix, it could ruin the whole thing. We're seeing Gini Wijnaldum isn't going to sign a contract, big rumours are suggesting. So that could open another spot. And I think Wijnaldum is a perfect player. United cop a lot of crap for Donny van de Beek. I'd love to play him more. But what it's doing is keeping Paul Pogba on his toes, keeping Fred on his toes. We're seeing what Paul Pogba's doing now, aren't we, lads? So I'm a massive fan of a squad. And I said a squad wins you championships, not a championship. A good team can win you a championship, but a squad wins you championships. There was talks about this Liverpool team last season being the best team in history, one of the best teams of the decade. Definitely are one of the best teams we've seen. However, the next year you can't come and back it up, and I know there's injuries, and I'm going to cop crap for saying, yeah, but what about all the injuries? But a good team can come in, stick to that system, and pull out results. I know they're still getting results, etc., but they're 6 points off first. 6 points away from Manchester United. Lost to Burnley for the first time they've lost at Anfield. I think it was like 1,360 plus days. That's quite big. The problem is how they're playing. Now, I know it's probably all a bit of an overreaction. Maybe I'm just enjoying it too much, seeing Liverpool not as good. But Salah to me always had that. When Salah's on the attack, it's scary times. You understand me? It's when Salah was going to go and attack the ball and attack my defender. I was go, oh shit, there's a good chance Salah might score here or create a very, very good opportunity. This year, what we're seeing is Salah grab the ball and almost hesitate in a way. Almost hesitate and say, if I attack that player, what's going to happen then? And all this. And that's something from that front three. The whole Liverpool front three, I think, can take a lot of the blame because it all starts from the top. The same way it all starts from the back, and Liverpool's defense being a bit of a disaster in terms of injuries, etc. this year. And I'll touch on the fullbacks in Trent and Robbo later on. But the front three, Firmino has been terrible this year. If Firmino had Martial's name, he'd be copying so much flack. If the front three have lost that fear. To be honest, I don't have a fear factor towards that front three anymore. And I think if I don't have that, I think defenders would be saying the same thing. And again, as well we do, we overreact a little bit, we overcomplicate stuff a little bit, etc. But I think Liverpool and the front three especially just seem to be, whether it's tired, whether it's where's my ambition coming from? And I know that's probably an issue because I always say it's harder to go back to back than it is to win one, obviously. But once you win one, and especially the way Liverpool won it, it's kind of like, we've won one. And for a lot of them, it was their first one. We've won one, now what? We've won the Champions League, we've won the Premier League, which is where, the mindset and the mentality of a good club comes into play. It says, let's be the best this decade. Let's go and win 3 out of 5, etc. So look, Liverpool is still definitely in it, but I said I was going to go for Klopp a little bit. I think he's just becoming so draining that it's not funny anymore. He continues to whinge. This season, he started off complaining about the fixtures. He had a go at Chris Wilder. There was that 5 substitution rule that they wanted to introduce because of COVID and to prevent injuries. It's because he doesn't have 5 good players to bring on and actually make a difference. Every post-match interview so far, it just felt like a different sort of Klopp. And maybe that ambition and that lack of drive is coming from Klopp too a little bit. Maybe he's feeling it. He's gone, geez, I came to Liverpool. I did the unthinkable. I built this team into what I want. I've done wonders. COVID's happened. All the injuries have happened. You know what? Let's just see this year out. But it gets to a point where you don't score a goal so far this year, 2021 nil. The last 10 games have been pretty shambolic. Let's not forget they've lost 7-2 to Aston Villa. Okay, 1-0 to Burnley at Anfield. I understand fans would have a lot to play with this Liverpool team, and Anfield, we know it's such a spectacle when it's a big night, big game, etc. But it's where has it gone wrong with Liverpool? Why are they struggling? This was meant to be one of the best teams of the next 10 years. Yeah, Liverpool were meant to be right at the top for the whole time. And again, I'm going to say it one more time. In 4 or 5 weeks, we could see United drop a couple of points, City drop a couple of points, Kevin De Bruyne's injured for 3 weeks. Liverpool could be top of the table, and it's the roses are shining one more time. However, my issue is just how they're playing. And it's, where is this bit of ticker going to come from? It's, where is this, boys, get your head up, let's go. Because right now, I'm going to say Luke Shaw has been playing a blinder of a season. United brought in Alex Tellers because initially Luke Shaw's first and really only competitor in that left-back position was Brandon Williams. No disrespect to the kid, but he was 18 years old, 19 years old. I think he's going to be a good player when he becomes like 24, 25. I think get a couple more years under him, professional football, playing at the highest of the leagues. And I think he will turn into a good footballer. However, someone like Luke Shaw probably wasn't feeling that threatened because Brandon Williams still had quite a lot of holes in his game that he needed to address, which is why I'm mentioning that, because Jota was the perfect signing for Liverpool in terms of he could play really anywhere. And we saw when he did come into that centre-forward role, he was scoring goals too. Now that that's gone, it's who's Salah going to be on his toes for now? Shaqiri? No, Shaqiri's playing in midfield and just isn't great. We saw Origi today, COVID backwards. He, one-on-one opportunity, should bury it, doesn't. And that's when we start to think of, this depth and building real squad needs to come into play. They've still got good players, man. Minamino's a good player off the bench. Curtis Jones, I think, is an absolute baller. I'm going to say it, probably one of my favourite Liverpool players. I really like Curtis Jones. I think he's one for the future. Homegrown talent too. Future captain of the club. I think he's a really, really good player. But it's Klopp coming out and sort of just showing the raw emotion of I'm a bit lost kind of thing. That's the vibe that I've got. And like I've said, I'm not a Liverpool fan, so it's maybe a bit different. I'd love to hear the Liverpool fans' comments down below. It's we're next for Liverpool. Is this going to continue? Or is this just a slight form slump where, a couple of weeks we say, you know what, it's all good now? Klopp came out and said it's hard to see them challenging for the title after today's loss to Burnley. So, does this make Man City and Man United clear favourites for the title? What sort of happens now? How does this flow from here? Thank you for tuning in. Hope I didn't annoy too many of you Liverpool fans. Don't worry, I love you. Come in for a hug. It's okay. Man United 2021 is coming in 2021 nil, so it's fine. Yeah, make sure. Let me get my ticket to UK. Boris, sort your shit out with the COVID in England, so I can come for the parade, and we'll see how it goes. Okay. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new. Drop it in your comments. What's going wrong with Liverpool? What do they need to do better? And I'm Costa. This is 1-0. Like, subscribe, tell your mum, tell your dog, tell your auntie, tell your cat, tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your neighbor. 2021 nil, baby. We're here to stay. Deuces.